welcome back to Pepcoding. So the question which we will discuss today is called maximum average subarray 1. So first let us discuss the question and then we will talk about the solution. So I'll just take this input from here. Okay. So you have been given three things. Okay. The first thing which you have been given is a number n. Okay. And its value, which represents the number of elements you want to have in the array. Okay. This is my array of n elements. And then over here we have k. I'll tell you what k signifies. First, let me just write down these elements. So I have minus 10. I'll just write them down over here. Okay. So we have minus 10, 5, 6, 8, minus 7, 2, minus 4, 8, minus 6 and 7. Okay. I'll just and this is my array. Okay. Alright, I'll just write down their indexes. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So these are my elements. Now what you have to do is you have been given a variable k, right? So what k signifies is the length of subarray you can take from this array. So basically from this entire array at one time I can take a subarray of length 3. So let's just write down all the ranges which I can have. So we have 0 to 2, right? Then after that we can have 1 to 3, right? So my next range is going to be 1 to 3. Then the next range will be 2 to 4. So we have 2 to 4. After that we have 3 to 5. Then 4 to 6. Then 5 to 7. Then 6 to 8. 1 second. And then 7 to 9. Right? So these will be my ranges for the subarray of length k. In this case, the value of k is 3, so we are taking subarrays of length 3. Now what you have to do is, you have to find out the averages of all of these subarrays and you have to print the maximum out of these. So basically what is average? Sum of all the elements divided by number of elements. In this case, number of elements is going to be fixed, that is k, right? So we have sum of elements divided by k. So you can say in a way you can say that this question is not exactly dependent on average, it is more dependent on sum, right? We'll see how. First over here, let's calculate all the averages for these. So we have minus 10 minus 6 plus 5, that is minus 11 by 3, which will give me minus 3.666. Then I have the next range, which is 5, 1 to 3, right? So 5 plus 8 is 13 and 13 minus 6 is 7. So 7 by 3 will give me 2.33. Then we have this range where I have minus 6 minus 7, that is minus 13 plus 8 is minus 5 divided by 3. So this will give me minus 1.66, right? Then I have the next range 8 plus 2, that is 10 minus 7 is 3. So we have 3 by 3, that is 1. Then I have this range which says minus 7 minus 4, that is minus 11 plus 2 is minus 9 divided by 3 will give me 3, minus 3. Then I have over here. So 2 plus 8 is 10 minus 4 is 6. So 6 divided by 3 will give me 2. Then over here we have minus 4 minus 6, that is minus 10 plus 8, 2. So 2 minus 2 divided by 3 will give me minus of 0.66. And then finally we have this range which says 8 plus 7, 15 minus 6 is 9. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. And you can see that the highest average is this one, that is 3. So we will print 3 as my answer. Okay. Now see, we can see that all of the sums are being divided by 3 only. So all of the sums are being divided by k. So even if I figure out the maximum sum out of all of these and then divide it by k, I will get the maximum average itself, right? So this question is more like maximum sum of subarray instead of maximum average by sum of subarray, because it is dependent on sum more than the average. Okay, so this will be the question. Now let's try to figure out its solution. So I'll just take these and minimize it. Okay, so we have something like this over here. Okay, now see, now what we have to do, we have to figure out a way to approach this question, right? So what if I do something like this? I'll calculate the sum for the first k elements. Okay, so the sum for the first k elements will be minus 10 minus 6, that is minus 16, plus 5, that is minus 11. And I'm going to hold a variable max which will keep this sum first. Then if I move to the next range over here, is it safe to say that when I came to the next range, these two numbers were the same and I added this number and I removed this number from the previous sum? I'll repeat what I said. When we were in this range, we had these three numbers, right? We had the three numbers minus 10, minus and 5 and minus 6. Then when I move to the next range from here, one second. When I move to the next range, all that happened was that I had these two numbers the same. I added this number to the previous sum and subtracted this number from the previous sum. So over here I can say minus 11 plus 8 minus minus 10. This will give me the required sum. So minus 11 plus 8 is minus 3 plus 10 is 7. So if we refer to our previous sum, over here we can see that the sum for the second range was 7 only. So we are doing it right. Okay. Now see, now we will compare with the maximum value which we've kept over here. So I have minus 11 here and 7 here. So I can update this and make it 7. And over here, the current sum which we have is 7. Right? Now, after that, I'll move to the next range. I come over here. Now, over here, I have, one second, I'll just remove this. Minus 10, 5, minus 6 and 8. Minus 10, 5, minus 6 and 8. Now in this range, the two common numbers which I have from the previous sum are minus 6 and 8. I have added minus 7 and removed 5. So what am I going to do now? I will add minus 7 to this and subtract 5 from it. So 7 minus 7 is going to give me 0 and 0 minus 5 is going to give me minus 5, which was my sum for this. So we are doing the right thing. So what are we doing? We are taking the previous sum, adding the new element to it, subtracting the previous element to it, which was out of range now, right? So we will try to code this part first and then we will understand it better. Okay, I'll just get rid of this. I hope one thing is very clear right now, that we will update the value of maximum only when the sum which we will get is greater than the previous sum, right? Okay, so now I'll just remove this and we will do it in a dry run. Okay, so now let's try to code this much. Another thing which I have to mention is that the value of k which we will get will always be smaller than the value of n, that is the length of the array, so you don't have to worry about that case. Okay, so now let's try to code this part. So first thing, I am maintaining a sum, so sum is 0. Then after that I'll move in the array. So for int I equals 0, I is less than k, I plus plus. So we are taking the sum of the first range, right? So over here we will do sum plus equal, the array is nums, so nums of I. Now we've got our sum. We will now maintain a maximum value. So we have int max is equal to sum, right? We initialized maximum as the first sum which we got. Then after that I have to move from the next position, right? After the position which I have already traversed. So basically 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So in the first range I took 0 to 2. Now I have to start from 3. That is, we will start from k now. So for int I is equal to k, I is less than n, I plus plus. Okay. Do we have n over here? No. I'll just maintain an n over here. Int n is equal to sums, nums dot length. Okay. So then over here we are moving till the length of the array which is given to us. Okay. And in this, what are we going to do in this? We are going to sum. To the sum, I am going to add the new value. So num of I, and we are going to remove the previous value. So sum minus equals nums of I minus k. Let's just see what we did. So basically I had 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, these positions. Let's say we are at these positions right now. So we calculated a sum from these positions. Now I am moving my range to the next range, this much. So I have to keep these two common, remove this number and add this number, right? So over here my k is right now 3, right? The value of I is k, so I is also 3. I am adding nums of 3 to the sum, so I added this part, and I am subtracting nums of I minus k, that is 3 minus 3, that is 0 from the previous sum. Okay, this will give me the correct sum now, and we will update max, right? So max will become equal to math.max, the current maximum and the sum which we just calculated. Okay, so first let us work with this much. And okay, so we'll do a dry run with this much. Okay. Okay, so first we have n as 10 and sum as 0. So first we took this range. We have a range as well as the sum. Okay, so over here we have first range as 0 to 2. The sum we got from here was minus 11, right? So we calculated minus 11 and we put max equals minus 11. Right now sum is also minus 11. Then I will start moving from I is equal to k. So basically we were in this range. Now we are moving to the next range, that is 1 to 3, right? So I will add to the sum that is minus 11. I will add nums of I, that is nums of 3. So here I will add 8, and I will subtract nums of I minus k, that is 3 minus 3, which is 0. So I will subtract this position. It will give me 7. So over here the range was 1, 2, 3, and the sum we got was 7. Now we calculated max. So we have to take the maximum out of the current maximum and sum, which is 7. So it became. Then we go to the next range. Over here we have the next range. Now to the previous sum which we got, which was 7, to the previous sum we added nums of I, that is fourth position, it is minus 7. And we subtracted nums of I minus k, that is 4 minus 3, which is 1. So we subtracted 5 from it. This will give me minus 5. The range is 2 to 4. The sum is minus 5. We checked for max. Now the maximum out of minus 5 and 7 will give me 7 only. So we will keep maximum as 7. This will go on till the end and we will get our maximum sum, right? So after this, what we need to do is, now I will get the maximum sum. When I will be over here, I'll just check what we got for this range. For this range, we got the answer as minus 2, right? So right now the range is 6 to 8 and the sum which we have is minus 2, and the current maximum which I have is 7 itself, right? Yes, so the current maximum which I have is 7. Then after that I have the sum minus 2. Now I have to move to the next range. Over here I will move to the maximum range. I was tallying from here, by the way, which we calculated earlier. Okay, so we will move to the next range. So to the previous sum, that is minus 2, I will add 7 and I will subtract minus 4. So over here I'll get minus 2 plus 11, which will give me 9. So this is greater than the previous max, so it will be updated. Now we've gotten our maximum sum. Okay, so we got the maximum sum as 9, and since the R is now over, so we will not be able to move to the next position anymore. So now what we need to do is, we need to divide this sum by k, that is 3. Okay, so now over here, what we are going to do is, we will come here and return max divided by k. But now see, whenever we are working with these compilers, right, so whenever we will divide in this manner, we will always get an integer number. We have to force it to give us a decimal, right? We need the decimal because there may be a case where the maximum average we get is in decimals. So what are we going to do? We are going to multiply this with 1.0, and now we are going to return this value, so it will forcefully give me a double value. Okay, so we got the correct value. Now let's submit this, and it is correct. Okay, so this was our question, which is maximum average subarray. I hope you understood the question as well as the solution. So we will see each other in the next question. Till then, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.